Bach. Nessa, 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 oh Nessa, Nessa, Nessa.
Hey guys, it is time to see Wicked. I'm so excited. I've just thought about it all day. Obviously, I've been thinking about it since I knew it was gonna happen. But now that I know today's the day, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. If you saw my New York vlog, you already know that I'm very emotionally invested in Wicked and cried 4 times when I saw it. So I can't imagine what it's gonna be like tonight. So I'm gonna vlog a little bit of just the journey of getting there, and then I'm gonna sit down and do a full review. Guys, it's happening.
We're getting out of the car. Blackie on ahead.
She got a spray tan, okay, guys? Before y'all cancel her ass.
The lighting. I know it looks really bad, but
Yeah, it's just your teeth are white.
I'm here with Elphaba herself.
What is?
So guys, I just got back. I literally have no notes. I have so much to talk about and feelings that I want to get out. But as of right now, the movie as a whole, I don't have any notes. I don't have any things I would change. I think it, dare I say, I think it was perfect. And I can tell you why later in a more in-depth sit down possible spoiler review of this movie musical Wicked. It was perfect. No notes.
It's good to see me, isn't it? Hey, let's get this started. I have been dying to talk about Wicked, and I haven't really had a second to sit down and really let my thoughts out. I've probably had so many discussions. I've seen it twice now. I've had really good in-depth discussions with my friends that I've seen it with, and others that have seen it, maybe not the same, not at the same time as me, with my mom or my sisters. I didn't watch it with them the first time, and I didn't watch it with them the second time either. And I've had a lot of good discussions with them, and I just really need to sit down and let it all out, in this format. So that's why I'm in my car, and it's the only place right now where I can get some peace and quiet. And I don't know, this is my review. I want to start off by saying that there's probably going to be spoilers at some point, and I feel like if you're watching this, it's because you've seen the movie or seen the show, or you're just, if you're going into this blind and you don't know anything, this is me letting you know that there is going to be spoilers probably. Also, I just saw the Broadway show in June, so the stage production is pretty fresh on my mind. So this is also going to be a lot of comparisons to the stage production as well. So also just a little warning for that. Before I really get into it, I just have to say I think it's 5 stars on Letterboxd. I'm debating if I should put it up in my top 4. I really thought it was amazing. I thought it was so great. Jaw on the floor. First time I saw it, I understood why Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were crying so much, because, I don't know, I was, life-changing. But when I saw it on Broadway, too, I was just as emotional, so I don't know why I didn't, expect to be as emotional as I was when I was like that for the stage production. Maybe because I thought since it was a movie, it would have, less, punch, seeing, I don't know, Defying Gravity live, was insane. So maybe I thought for the stage, for the movie, that it wouldn't be as impactful, but it was. I was crying. I first started crying when No One Mourns the Wicked happened, because I don't know, just since I've seen the show, I know the true emotion behind what's going on, and I know everything, so it hits harder watching it. And it's also just, I don't know, Steven Schwartz is just amazing, and he's just perfect. He knows exactly what he's doing. Just because the chords, I don't know, just something about the first it also brings me back to when I saw it on the stage. And there's not like a big intro like in the movie. Spoiler, in the movie it starts off like um Ariana Grande's like the melting happened at approximately, and it starts off like where the Wizard of Oz ends, which that makes sense and that's not a spoiler, but you know, she talks for a second and then it's two little munchkins being like, she's dead, the Wicked Witch is dead. Um, as the Broadway fans know, when it starts off on Broadway, the beginning of No One Mourns the Wicked happens, and then flying monkeys just go everywhere, and the dragon's eyes, like there's a dragon, and its eyes start glowing, and it starts moving like this, and it's just really overwhelming. And I don't know, just anytime I see anything live, I cry. And that could be Broadway shows, concerts, sporting events. I've cried at sporting events just because of the applause. I don't know. Just live things get me. So I thought that's what it was gonna. I thought that's why I was so emotional for the Broadway show, but I was just like that for the movie. Also, this is just about Ariana Grande, not like Wicked related, but I have loved her since I think it was Victorious. I wasn't okay. I know about 13 now, but I wasn't a fan since 13. So like props to you guys, I guess. But I was a fan of her since Victorious, and I can remember when her and Liz Gillies sang "Give It Up" at the karaoke dokie. That was the moment when I like saw Ariana Grande and not Kat Valentine anymore. I was like, wow, this is talent. She's amazing. I'm obsessed with her. And then I wanted Kat to sing more. So every time she did, I was like, yay, Ariana Grande. So then, of course, after that, Hearts Up and Honeymoon Avenue, that album. I don't know, then I just like kept up with her ever since, like when it came to music. And I mean, not that I didn't keep up, but obviously this year I feel like she's had a resurgence in like just anything she does entertainment wise. Like she had Eternal Sunshine come out in March. March? I think it was March. Was it? Yeah, it was March. Sorry, I had to blank for a second. But and of course Wicked is coming out, the press tour, and then we all know last year she had the home wrecking allegations. That was kind of messy, and then everyone was just diving back. I think not that anyone has forgotten about her, because a few years ago she did The Voice and that was good, but I don't know, like now she's all over social media because of, I don't know, it's her resurgence, like it's happening. So at the beginning, I don't think it was of this year. I think it was when all the home wrecking stuff happened. I always have her on my playlist, but I like went back and like listened again. And I don't know, like I just was reminded of how much I love her. And like I don't know. I think she's gonna be my number one listened to artist on Spotify. Not even because of the Wicked soundtrack, but just because I went back and like just listened to all my favorites again, like on purpose, not just because it's on a playlist, but because I like sought, because I sought them out. I think that's right. I don't know, but I love her. So that's just me gushing about her music, and now I can actually like talk about Wicked. First, I want to talk about Cynthia Erivo, because once I heard she was cast, I knew it was gonna be good, because I am a theater kid, so I know her because of The Color Purple, and I mean, like heavenly vocals, heavenly, but also she's a powerhouse. I don't know. She's just like, I'm speechless thinking about how amazing she is, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. It's one of my favorite covers she did was Edelweiss, because that is my lullaby, because my mom is also a theater kid, even though she's an adult, but you know what I mean. So, like, that is just so important to me. Her singing that, I think it was at Julie Andrews Kennedy Center Honors, when she was singing that, it was the most, I don't know, like I think that's what angels in heaven sound like, is what Cynthia Erivo sounds like. And it's just, I can't gush about her vocals anymore. And obviously she's an amazing actress, because she won the Tony for The Color Purple, and I know she's almost EGOT. So there's her Tony. I can't remember what she got her Emmy for off the top of my head, and her Grammy. Yeah, so all she needs is an Oscar, which she can totally get because her acting in this, we have to get into her acting. Obviously, like, her acting was amazing in this, but one thing that really stuck out to me, and I'm actually seeing a lot of people, like, disagree with this, because they're saying that she wasn't childlike enough, but I think she was so childlike, because Wicked takes, like, when they're at Shiz, that's university, so they're max, like, 18. I mean, minimum 18. Max 18? I don't know. They're like 18, 19 years old. And as someone who is 19, like, I'm still, I don't know. I know I'm like an adult, but like I don't feel like an adult. And I still feel like a baby. And I feel like Cynthia captured that perfectly. Because I know Ariana Grande could tap into that because she's been a Nickelodeon sitcom actor. So I knew she was going to be able to tap into that college of it all. But Cynthia really, like, just the wonderment that is Elphaba. Like, The Wizard and I is when she kind of has a moment of, like, that childlike wonder. And she really, it's just so perfect. Like, when she frolics on those little rocks and she does all these little dances and she's, like, daydreaming on the steps. It's just perfect. And I don't know why everyone's disagreeing and is saying, like, she can't be childlike. Maybe it's because they don't like to see women age. I don't know. I think she, like, that's one thing that really stuck out to me about her acting was how childlike she played Elphaba, and it was perfect. Standout moments for her, The Wizard and I acting, I knew she was going to slay the vocals, so, when she gets, like, pissed off at the beginning and she's like, no, I didn't eat grass when I was a child, that was perfect. I thought that was funny. Her fake toss, also funny. Yeah, I giggled. It was great. Her, like, eyes, you know? Like, I don't know, because since it was a movie, it's, like, more movie acting, but she was somehow able to be, like, theatrical, but with her eyes, like, I don't know. Just something about Cynthia Erivo's eyes I loved. Like, she just told the story with her eyes perfectly. Now I'm going to get into Ariana Grande. I already did a little gush about her in the beginning. So, of course, I was excited once I found out she was going to be Glinda. And my mom, I told her, like, I was like, Mom, guess who's going to be Glinda in Wicked? And she was like, I don't know how I feel about that. And I feel like it's a thing I've seen a lot on TikTok is that everybody's Gen X mothers hated Ariana Grande and then saw Wicked and they were like, okay, I like her now. That's exactly what happened with my mom. Because I guess my mom she saw Ariana Grande and then thought Cat Valentine, like the, hey, like that. And my mom hates that. So I guess she can only see Cat Valentine. Just like when I look at Ethan Slater and Bach, I can only see SpongeBob. So I get it. Because I'm really trying to separate SpongeBob and Bach and Ethan Slater. So gave my mom some grace, I guess. But now she loves her. So I don't know. And of course we have to talk about her and Ethan Slater's relationship. Because I think it was like this time last year they started dating, or maybe I want to say August, September is when I started seeing stuff about it. And people were so mad at her because Ethan Slater's like just had a baby last year and then got divorced and then I was dating Ariana Grande. I don't know, sticky situation. As much as I love Ariana Grande, I don't know what happened there, but whatever, they're together now. But some people got really mad at her. Meanwhile, I guess me and a few other people were like, okay, maybe we don't know the whole story because, I don't know, we don't know them. So, I mean, I don't want to be like, I was there through it all, but I kind of was because I feel like I was the only person that was mad at the TikToks of them being mad at her. I don't know, it just made me so upset. Because I know if I was in her shoes, and someone, I don't know, was telling lies on the internet about me, or not telling the whole truth, or missing a key part of the truth, I would be really mad. So, forgive me for trying to think of like the whole story. I don't know. And I don't know. Anyway, no one mourns the wicked. Yeah, I cried because, like I said earlier, I know the true emotion behind that song, and Ariana Grande like displayed the facial acting, like the movie acting I was talking about with Cynthia's eyes. Ariana was doing that with like all of her little head tilts and like her squints. I don't know. Like when they burned the statue, or like not the statue, but the like sculpture of Elphaba, you can just like see it. Like she's trying so hard to mask and like be like Glinda the Good, like, and talk to the Aussians and the Munchkins. But you can, I don't know, she like shows it so well how she's like fighting something deeper. I don't know, it was just perfect. But something that stuck out to me about Ariana Grande's acting was her comedy. Her physical comedy in this, crazy. Like, she had my audience who, I don't know, like anytime I see movies where I'm from, like no one really cares. So it's not, I don't know, they don't really give a lot of reactions. She had my whole theater like kicking their feet and giggling and laughing out loud, literally LOLing at her little, I don't know, just Glinda isms. Like she did it perfectly. Okay, change of scenery. I'm gonna get on with it. Also, special guest, we have Diva. She's wrapped up in a blanket just because I think she kind of stinks and I don't want her to touch my clothes. That might be awful, but whatever. Okay, I know I've talked about No One Mourns the Wicked a lot, but I think I'm gonna try to go like song by song and just like give my thoughts. Right? Yeah, so No One Mourns the Wicked. Crazy. I think it's in my top 3 like Wicked songs, honestly, because it's so good. I don't know, like I feel like I've gushed about it enough. Some highlights though is the choreography, like the choreography of the whole thing, but seeing it like in theaters and hearing the like boots on the yellow brick road when they're doing the like they do Elphaba's backstory, and then it's like back to real life, the no one mourns the wicked, and it's just, I don't know, just something about when they like hike up their skirts and pants and they stomp. I love it so much. I guess I could count Shiz. Great ensemble vocals. I love it. I don't know. Also a choir kid. Yeah. Do you want to say something? Say something. Okay. The vocals of the ensemble ate so hard. Like it was so good. I don't know. I loved it. I love it. I love a good harmony. I love a good group. I love a good choir. Yes. I guess The Wizard and I is next. I kind of gushed about it too, but one thing about The Wizard and I that I thought was really cool was the things that they did with the light. Sorry. The things they did with the light colors when she's like, and I'll dig green if I sorry if you hear dogs barking. We have so many animals, so they be loud. I'm sorry, but what was I gonna say? Sorry. Oh, the lights that they did, that was really cool. And one thing that really made me giggle, this isn't song related at all, but would you sit still? Sit still. I guess she wants to play. I might sit her down in a second. But one thing that really stuck out to me that made me laugh, like, was Jeff Goldblum's face, like, carved out Mount Rushmore style. that was a jump scare. He was doing the like smolder. I don't know. He was like, I don't know. It kind of, I feel like it came out of nowhere, and I don't know. It's Jeff Goldblum. I don't know. Like, it made me giggle. Took me out of the moment for a second, but I don't know. The Wizard and I was so good. Then we have the masterpiece that is What Is This Feeling? Now, I had no idea this song was in the soundtrack until I saw it on Broadway, and as soon as I saw it on Broadway, I was like, oh, I can't wait for the movie version. So good. I can't stop doing the choreography bit of the yeah, can't stop doing that. What? I don't know. It was amazing. I loved the acting. I loved how it showed like time passing, if that makes sense. Like the different scenes they did of, I don't know, I just loved the frenemies vibe of it, because even though they're supposed to hate each other, I just know that the highlight of their day is just picking on each other. Like, I think deep down they like it. Like, they like each other in that sense. Like, obviously they're not friends yet, but I don't think they're full-on enemies. They're frenemies at this point. They love making each other mad. I don't know. I thought it was great. And of course, vocals 8, choreography 8. I can't stop listening to it. I love the ensemble of it too. Like, the ensemble did great. I don't know. Like, I think that's probably my top 5 Wicked songs, maybe. Just because it's such a fun one. I love it. 10 out of 10. I think next is Something Bad. It's essential for the plot. And Peter Dinklage as a goat really ate with that. I'm obviously not going to go out of my way to listen to it, but in context, it's a good song. And I liked this is one thing I liked that the movie did, was show how dark the whole like animal persecution was. Like, they were all meeting and they were talking about, like, in the song they're talking about all the horrible things that are happening to the animals. I thought that was, I don't know. And just the incorporation of animals, like more CGI. Like, obviously, we know they have to use CGI for talking animals, which is fine. That's why CGI is a thing. But I just, especially at the beginning, I didn't even touch on this in on the Elphaba's backstory. Like, a wolf with glasses delivered her, and then Dulcie Bear was also there, and Dulcie Bear ended up taking care of her. And I think that's also why Elphaba cares about animals so much, is because Dulcie Bear was like the only nice maternal figure for her, because her mom died. So, like, I don't know, just Dulcie Bear. I want to know where she's at. Is she okay? I know she's not okay, but I'm just gonna act like she's fine. I think she's asleep. Hold on, I'm trying to check. She's asleep. Okay. Yeah, I love Dulcie Bear. So Something Bad, essential for the plot. I love Dr. Dillerman, and made me really sad. I don't like it when he's sad. I have a special place for him in my heart. And then, I'm pretty sure it's time, if I'm going in the right order. I don't even know if I am. I'm pretty sure I am. Dancing Through Life. In the stage production, it's a very important number, because during that number is when Bach starts to become a little heartless. And the witches, the girls, they finally become friends. And I love how they literally made it 9 minutes long. I don't care. I love that it's a long song. Or I think it is 9 minutes. I don't know. I like how they extended it, because the whole Ozdust ballroom scene. Well, because, okay, I don't know where to start. Fiyero, Jonathan Bailey. I love Bridgerton. When I found out he was going to be Fiyero, I already knew him from Bridgerton. And I was like, pause. Anthony can sing, because this is a musical last time I checked. So I looked up Anthony singing, and I was like, okay, he can sing. So then I was excited. And then, but little did I know, he can dance so well. Like, and I'm pretty sure in an interview he said he did dance when he was little, and then he realized he was the only boy. So he kind of like felt weird, so then he quit dance when he was really little and was able to pick it up like that because now he's a full-grown man. And in Dancing Through Life, when they're in the library, he does a front walkover, and I just thought it was a double or something. And then I see a behind the scenes of him doing a front walkover. That's crazy. I haven't been able to do a front walkover since I was in like 8th grade. Like, I don't know. That's crazy to me. But Dancing Through Life, an amazing number. I love how one thing I love about Glinda is how, like, manipulative she is. I don't know, like, when she gets Bach to ask Nessa to the Ozdust, like, obviously she knew that Bach had a crush on her, so, I don't know, just, she's smart. She might be ditzy, and she might not know that a library is called a library, but she's smart, you know? Walk with me. And this is important later when we get into Defying Gravity. Remember that. Remember her manipulative. I don't know, just Glinda can play mind games well. Glinda can play mind games. Remember that when we get into Defying Gravity. But now we're on Dancing Through Life. In Dancing Through Life, when they're at the library and Anthony Bridgerton's doing his thing and he's inviting them all to the Ozdust. Also, one thing about Fiyero that I think the book talks about, I haven't read the book, but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about people who read the book, is that he is also struggling with the am I good or bad thing. Like, obviously he knows the Dancing Through Life, but it's because he's a nihilist. He thinks life has no meaning, and he's depressed because of it. And that's why he's so happy all the time. Yeah, that's why he's like, dancing through life, down at the Ozdust. Only because dust is what we come to, so nothing matters. That's why he's like, life is painless when you're brainless. I don't know, this song is just so brilliant. And the way they did it in the movie was good, because they started off with all the amazing dancing, and then they, Glinda and Fiyero have their little moment, and then Bach hits on, I almost said Ariana Grande. Bach hits on Glinda. Glinda's like, you should ask out Nessa Rose. So he asks out Nessa Rose. Nessa Rose rolls over to Elphaba, and she's like, Elphaba, guess what just happened? Oh, so sorry. Sorry, I am losing my train of thought because she's distracting me. But Nessa's like, Glinda, I keep calling her Glinda. Right now she's Galinda with a G. Sorry, but she's gonna be Glinda. Nessa Rose tells her sister Elphaba that Galinda encouraged Bach to ask her out, and now she's so happy that she has a little date tonight. And Elphaba's like, whoa, Galinda told you this? And she was like, don't ruin this for me. So then Elphaba's like, okay, if you're happy, I'm happy. Because Elphaba cares about her sister, even though her sister hates her low-key. Because that's why we love Elphaba. But, so Elphaba's like, oh, well, that's really nice. Because then Nessa Rose is like, how can I repay Glinda? Like, I wish there was a way I could repay her. So Elphaba thinks, and she's like, oh, I guess I could do. Hold on, I'm going out of order. Then it cuts, I'm pretty sure it cuts to them getting ready. And it's Glinda, that one girl, and Bowen Yang. They are getting ready, and Bowen Yang finds this ugly hat. I don't even think it's ugly. I think it's just ugly for, like, the Oz world. And he's like, what is the meaning of this? She was like, it's my granny's. I would give it to someone but I don't hate anyone that much. And they're like, well, we know someone. I'm sorry, my hair keeps getting in her ears. She just huffed at me. Anyway. Then, they're getting ready, right? They find the hat, and he's like, you should give it. Basically, like, giving the hint, give it to Elphaba. So, Elphaba comes back to the room, and she's like, you should join us tonight. This is her being manipulative. And not for a good reason, obviously. So she's like, join us tonight, and don't tell me you have nothing to wear because you can wear this. So she gives her the hat because Glinda wants to embarrass her. And Elphaba thinks that, like, Glinda's actually being genuine. And it's just, this is when I start getting in my feels. Because no one likes the feeling of being laughed at. Oh my gosh. So Glinda's like, oh, how sweet. Whatever. They go to the Ozdust. While they go to the Ozdust and Elphaba has the hat, she goes to Madame Morrible. And she puts in a good word for Glinda. And basically, she's like, we don't see this happening. We just see Elphaba show up to Madame Morrible's door. And she's like, can I ask you a favor? And then it cuts to the Ozdust. Amazing dancing at the Ozdust. You see there's, like, animals, like, still working. And then I remember, like, Glinda said, when Fiyero said, have you ever been to the Ozdust Ballroom? She was like, isn't that place, like, almost illegal? Maybe it's because animals are working there. What? So, sorry. Oh my gosh, she is like an aggressive napper. But, I don't know. There's an animal band. I think that's really cool. And just amazing dancing. And they have their little moment. I'm trying to think what comes first. Elphaba coming in or another Boq and Nessa moment. I'm going to tell the Boq and Nessa part, I guess. Maybe I'm a little out of order. I don't know. Boq and Nessa are having their little moment. And he's like goo-gooing over Glinda, but then Boq sees Glinda and Fiyero kiss. So he pulls the Nessa, 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 does that, and then he's like, I have something to confess, a reason why. Oh, and then he sees them kiss. Cause she's like, I know why. It's because I'm in this chair. He sees him kiss, and then switches up like that. And he's like, because you are so beautiful. And they have a little cute moment, I guess, but we all know that Boq is just leading her on because he still loves Glinda. And then he's like, let's dance in a SpongeBob voice because I still can't unhear the SpongeBob of it all. Then we'll say, I don't know. Oh, more dogs. Then we'll say Elphaba rolls up. And she's like, this is what hurts my feelings. When she, like, enters, she has, like, that childlike sense of, like, oh, I'm excited, I'm going to party. She walks in, and then when they see her in that hat, like, the music stops. Everyone's looking at her. Everyone starts giggling and laughing. And in that moment, she realizes that, like, Glinda just pranked her. She walked the prank. Because then you see, like, her smile fade, and it's just it's the saddest thing. And you just see her slowly walk. But then, she tries to be tough. So this is when she pulls the whole, like, weird dance movement. Oh my gosh! Before Elphaba walks in is when Madame Morrible walks in. Pause. Madame Morrible walks in after the Nessa, Rose, whatever. Some point Madame Morrible busts into the Ozdust and tells Glinda about Elphaba basically saying, I will leave school if you don't help Glinda out. So she gives her this training wand, and she's like, you can thank Elphaba. I still hate you. I still don't think you're going to be good, but I need Elphaba here, so do with that as you will. And that's when Glinda, she regrets pulling that prank on her. Because, like, you just see it in Ariana Grande. you see it on Ariana Grande's face, like, I don't know, and maybe this is because, I don't know, I'm an older sister, and sometimes when I get too mean with my sisters, like, I have, like, a moment where I, like, I don't know, I reflect, because I'm human, I make mistakes, so I, like, reflect, and I know that guilt she feels, not that extreme, I don't think I would ever prank my sisters that hard, but I've, like, slapped them pretty hard, and then I felt bad, so I was like, I don't know, just seeing that guilt on her face, like, I know exactly what she's feeling, and it feels horrible. So, I think Ariana Grande played that part really well. So then she starts regretting it. And then that's when Elphaba comes in. And then that's when they're all looking at her. And it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. Just watching Elphaba realize that it's a joke. I don't know. That pains me so much because then she turns on Mr. Tough Girl. Mrs. Tough Girl. And she starts doing the whole, like, and then Glinda joins her and learns that dance, that little movement thing they do. And I listen to the track sometimes. I think it's called the Ozdust Duet or something. But it's so beautiful watching that happen. And then she cries, and Ariana Grande wipes her tear away. Like, it's the most beautiful scene. It's so important too, because that's when literally everything changes. That's when they go from literally hating each other to being best. You done? You moving around? Okay. Anyway, such an important scene. And then they hug, and it's just the best hug. And then it breaks back into dancing through life down at the Ozdust. It's perfect. It's perfect. Oh. She keeps, like, biting my hand. I don't know what's going on. You done? You want to say something? Nope? Okay. And I think Popular's next, but I really want to talk about the scene leading up to Popular when they're all, like, sleep over in the room and they're like, oh, we're friends now. I know that feeling. It's such, like, a girly girlhood feeling. Like, when you become friends with someone, or, like, when you click like that with someone, even though they kind of had a journey, now they're at a moment where they're seeing eye to eye, and it's just, like, quit moving. It's just the most perfect little scene, and they're like, we're gonna tell secrets, oh my gosh, and I don't know, because even though it's silly to be like, let's spill secrets, like, that's them, like, opening up with each other, and, like, Elphaba's never done that, like, maybe with Dulcie Bear, and that's it. But also, I had to put the dog away, it was burning me up. But then we had Popular, and it was amazing. Ariana Grande did amazing. Hold on, I hate this angle. I think that's better. I don't know. Ariana Grande absolutely killed Popular. It was amazing. The comedic timing of Popular was also just crazy because it was so similar to the, like, silliness that is the original, like the random, like like, I don't know, I love it. Also, the one moment where she goes, don't make me laugh. Then we have One Short Day. One Short Day is amazing because I don't know, they made it longer because spoiler alert, we get cameos from Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, and they extend, like, the Wizomania part, and they come out and sing, like, a little backstory, and it takes longer than the Broadway production, but it's so good. And one part I love is when they enter the city. It's the one part where they're, like, skipping. I think they say, like, I want to be in this hoi polloi. I don't know. They say, I want to be in this hoi polloi. I'm not going to try to sing it right now because I don't want to. But they, like, do this little skipping thing, and they start, like, the camera follows their back. I love that. It feels very theatrical. So that was a really good shot. And it's them skipping. They're just so happy to be there. It's so cute. Also, I forgot to mention at this point, Dr. Dillman's arrested, and their new history teacher brought in the Cowardly Lion. And Fiyero and Elphaba had a little moment together, and they freed him. And then before the train, Galinda finally changes her name from Galinda to Glinda, because she's like, I'm taking a stand. Since Dr. Dillman had his goat way to pronounce my name, I won't be Galinda anymore. I'm gonna be Galinda. And then Fiyero's like still shook up about the whole moment with Elphaba, and Glinda's noticing that he's distant. And now let's cut back. Let's go back to where I was. Now we're at One Short Day. I love the wonderment of One Short Day. Like, it's so catchy. It's so good. And the cameos, like, when I first saw them, it was like when I saw Spider-Man No Way Home. That's the third one, right? Where they all three come together. That was Spider-Man almost is as amazing as that. And I still was freaked out for the Spider-Man of it all. But they are entering the gates, and then it's like the suspense before the one Emerald City person is like, the wizard will see you now. Guess who is that character? Steven Schwartz. Which first watch, I didn't even notice him because he had all of that like mustache and stuff on, which I know what he looks like. I've watched the Tiny Desk concert. I've watched like a lot of behind the scenes of him writing and him talking about how he wrote some of the songs. So I don't know how I didn't even catch that the first time. I think I was just still so shocked about the other two. And apparently there's a fourth one, and there's some background person. And forgive me for not knowing who they are. But it's, I can learn. But I loved One Short Day. Then we have Defying Gravity. But before Defying Gravity, there's Sentimental Man. And I'm not talking about Sentimental Man, because that's when I went to go pee the second time I watched it. No offense to Jeff Goldblum. But they get let in to see the wizard. He does the theatrics, and then he's like, Elphaba, that's you. And then he shows him his plan for Oz. Glinda picks the Yellow Brick Road, which I think was a nice touch. And then Madame Morrible shows up and like, what are you doing here? This is crazy. What's up, girl? And it's so cute for a second. And then it's not so cute when they pull the Grimoire out and realize she can read it. And Elphaba realizes that the wizard can't, because she sets a spell on the monkeys, or on one monkey, because the wizard lies and was like, he loves looking at birds. Like, I bet he wants to fly. So she does a levitation spell, gives him wings, and then realizes it's hurting him. She's like, how do I stop it? And she's like, Madame Morrible is like, you can't stop it. And then realized she turned them all into flying monkeys. And then Madame Morrible was like, they'll make terrific spies. And then that's when Elphaba was like, oh shoot, this is really bad. Y'all are really bad. Y'all are really horrible people. Because that's when Elphaba was like, come on, wizard, read it. And he's like, I can't. That's why I need you. You could work for me. And she was like, no. Because that's not who Elphaba is. Elphaba does not stand behind injustice. Because that's when she takes the Grimoire and she runs to find a place to hide. And Glinda, Madame Morrible, looks at Glinda and she's like, you should try to convince her to stop. So she does, and Glinda runs after her. And then that's when the one jump scare in the whole movie happens. And a monkey flies into a window. And it's like a horror movie level jump scare. That's how much I was like, it scared the poop out of me, that's for sure. And then they find the little like tower and they try to get into a balloon, like into the balloon that he came down on. And what's crazy is that if the balloon would have lifted, then they both would have left together without any like hesitation of Glinda being like, am I gonna go, am I not gonna go? Like that would have been it if they didn't shut the trap thing down. I don't know, that's crazy to me. But then they start fighting, and they hear Madame Moore will be like, there's a intruder on the loose, and she's a wicked witch. And like spreads the lie. She's like, listen to nothing that she says. Her green skin just starts lying. So then all of Oz is freaking out. And that's when they're like, she's the wicked witch. We can't, like, go find her. Go get her. And then even Jeff Goldblum is like, there's an intruder. Go get her. I don't know. But then the beginning of Defying Gravity happens, and I love it. I love how angry they are at each other. I just love it. The part about Defying Gravity that really gets me, though, is when she tries to get Glinda to go with her, and Glinda considers it for a second, because she loves Elphaba. She loves her friend. So they obviously, like, hold the broom, and they sing together. And then some other boom crash happens, and she pulls the, Elfie, you're trembling, which is code for, I'm not gonna go. But this is when everyone's like, Glinda's not a real homegirl. Glinda's not a real homegirl. Yes, she is, and here is why. So Glinda is obviously a lot more privileged than Elphaba, and she really benefits from the system that's in place. But Glinda knows that what is going on is wrong, and she was picking up on the bad vibes too, but she was controlling herself a little more so she didn't freak out. But Elphaba can't do that. She doesn't have control of her emotions yet. That's why her magic is so unpredictable. And that's why the whole, like, instead of flying off the handle, that's why, like, Glinda was so upset when she said that, because Glinda can control her emotions a little better. And that's not saying that, like, Glinda's better. It's just, like, she does, because, I don't know, she just does. That's her as a person. So, I had to stop videoing about Defying Gravity because it was making me cry. And I have to keep it together.
I don't know where I left off, but I think it was somewhere during Defying Gravity. I can't find the time to sit down and finish my thoughts, but basically, Defying Gravity was so good. And one of my favorite things they did was the shot of Cynthia in the air. And it was very similar to how they stage it on Broadway, and I thought that was really cool. Another highlight from Defying Gravity was when there's, like, explosions and everyone's, like, dramatically looking up, like, I thought that was really cool. And that's my thoughts on Wicked. A 10 out of 10 movie. Seen it twice, would see several other times. I hope you guys liked this video. I know it was a long one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it.